What is up, party people? We are back with the latest episode of Real Estate Uncensored. We have no guest. We have no evil bald ninja. It's just me and the junior grand master. It's been a long time since it's just been the two of us. We're going to have a blast. We're going to answer questions. And more specifically, we're talking about creative things that you can do to go into your next appointment, actually create trust, create rapport, and win that listing appointment. So it's very important. Obviously, right now, we are in an environment where if you work with buyers, your life is tough. If you would like to make your life a little easier, go work with listers and sellers and get more listings. However, the real key is, can you win the listing against other agents? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, Greg, what's up today?
What up, hum cheesers? Hey, man. It's a happy Friday to you. You look very handsome as usual. I am here. Gene is bald as always. We miss our guest, unfortunately, but we're going to get him back on another time. Today's a lot of fun, but I got to tell you a funny story. Very, very funny story. I'll make it very abbreviated because I know how much you love to hear me talk, and I love to hear myself talk, but you don't like to hear me talk, so I won't talk that much, but here I'm going to talk a little bit more. Here we go. You guys can't see this. The Matt is grinning his face off. It's just like, God damn it. So I went down to LA with Jackie the other week, actually last weekend, for a wedding we've been looking forward to for about 18 months. We got an Airbnb because we brought Rupert, the hound dogger, with us, and it was a pet friendly Airbnb. So we're at the wedding, and we're like 45 minutes deep into the to the foothills. I mean, in Southern California. So we're deep into the foothills, and we're 3 hours into the wedding. We're having a good time. We're starting to get our swerve on a little bit, drinking and eating and laughing and talking and everything else. And this was a phenomenal wedding. It was done to the nines. I mean, they had 3 bottles of booze on every single table with chasers, with ice. Then they had a full bar. Then they had a dance place. Then they had appetizers. Then they had the full sit down dinner. Then they had entertainers. I'm like, what the shit sticks? So we're sitting there, and Jackie looks at me. She looks down at her phone. She looks back up at me. Her eyes are like this bugged out of her brain. And I'm like, oh shit. And the text goes, hi, this is Jessica, your Airbnb host. Do you happen to have a dog? We're like, yes, we had a dog. We told you we have a dog. And she's like, yeah, it's on the roof of my neighbor's house. We're like, what? Like, what the fuck, Rupert? Okay. So we communicate back and forth. We jump up. We have to blast out of there. We run back down. Took us 40 plus minutes. I gave the Uber driver an extra $20 under the table to go as fast as humanly possible, which he actually did. He's like a Mario Andretti race car driver, which I loved. I need to do that every time I get an Uber, by the way. Okay. And we get back. They had called the police. They called animal control. They had called the fire department. And we got into discussions with the neighbors, and they were like, yeah, your dog did this, your dog did that. And I'm like, okay, bitches, hold the fuck on. Let's just pump the brakes. Did he ever growl at you? No. Did he snarl at you? No. Did he ever show any teeth at you? No. Did he show any aggression at you? No. Did he wag his tail and just want to be played with? Yes. Don't tell me my dog's aggressive. And so this lady came over.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was a disaster. And this Karen of a chick who was next door, she's like, oh my God, your dog was so aggressive. And I went through those questions with her, and I said, okay. She's like, do you know what a stallion is? Yes, lady. I've been riding horses before I could walk. I know what a stallion is. Well, good, because I didn't want my stallion to kick your dog in the face and kill your dog. Was he ever near your stallion? No. So that was
now the burning question is, how in the world did your dog get on someone's roof?
Oh, this is the great part about it. So it says dog friendly or pet friendly, but they have like a 3-foot wall, and then there's a roof right next to it. It's kind of hard to explain because the other property is sunken below us. We were on the hill property on top. Right. And so he just hopped up. I mean, I could hop up, and a toddler could hop up on this roof. Yeah. And so he hopped up on one roof and then walked over to another roof and just sat there. And he was just being Rupert, and the neighbors had to chase him down and get him back in. And then the homeowner came over later the next day after we vacated, and she's like, she showed us photos. She's like, your dog chewed through my fence. And I'm like, logistically, that's fucking impossible, bitch. You're just upset that you got yelled at by your neighbors. But
man,
you gotta love
maybe not take the dog with you to an Airbnb. Maybe not.
The funny thing is that as soon as that conversation took place, she went from pet friendly to no pets.
Right.
So
that'll do it.
She dumb. Anyway, let's have some fun, brother. Let's do some
All right.
Q&A and really knock some power out of this place.
Okay. Let's get to before we get to the main topic, let's bring up some smaller questions that I spotted over here in the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections Facebook group. That's run by a good friend of the show, Aaron Wittenstein, the crazy man himself. He is a beast on the phone. So if you want to get into that group, if you're not already in that group, just look it up. Lead Gen wow. Not skills, scripts. That's right. Lead Gen Scripts and Objections. Very easy to find on Facebook. It's a huge group. So, okay. Let's deal with this objection. I'm sticking with the same agent. So this is for an expired listing. You're going in. This person is probably calling them and getting this objection on the phone. So it could be casual. They may not actually be sticking with the same. Like if this just comes up on the phone, I don't know that you would immediately take this thing seriously. But Greg, in that case, if they just basically go like, hey, yeah, it's been off the market for a little while, we're just going to relist it with the same person. How would you handle that?
It depends on the kind of mood you're going to be in, but I would say something. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you're going to stay with the same agent that you're going to be. And Matt, let's role play this real quick. So you're telling me what you're saying is that you're going to stay with the same agent that didn't sell your home the first time. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd put it that way, but yeah, I mean, I guess.
Okay, so from my understanding, you're still living and owning that property. Is that accurate assessment?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I was able to, kind of help you get to the next step in life in a shorter amount of time, would you be willing to entertain at least a 15-minute conversation with me and my business partners? And if you don't like me and I don't like you, we'll part ways as friends. But if we can actually sit down and we can figure out a way to get you more money or money in your pocket in a shorter amount of time, would that pose a problem to you?
I don't know. I mean, the agent didn't do such a bad job. I just think the market is tough right now, and we took it off the market for a while, and, but he's not, he's like a friend of the family. I don't think he did a bad job. So that's why we're kind of thinking about listing with him again.
Not a problem. So he's a friend of the family?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of friend of the family? Is he a close friend or a distant friend?
I would say distant friend.
Distant friend. Okay. Does he work here locally, or was he referred and he works in a different marketplace?
He's from a couple of towns, suburbs over, I guess. So yeah, it doesn't work in this area a ton.
Okay. So he doesn't work in this area a ton. See, the thing is that we work in this area every single day of our lives. And so we know what people eat for dinner in these different streets. So if I was able to maybe potentially, not to make it weird or awkward, but if we were able to work together, again, I'm going to say that if you're going to be the right client for me and I'm going to be the right agent for you, and we come to a meeting of the minds, if I give him a referral fee just for being a friend of yours, do you think that would be a fair compensation if I could get you the same or more amount of money for the sale of your home?
So you're telling me that I could potentially work with somebody else. You'd give him a referral fee that doesn't come out of my pocket, comes out of your pocket, but it makes him happy. But we can work with an agent that we like better.
Yeah, he's going to have mailbox money. You're going to have a representative that knows the market area here, and then we'll be able to get you to the next stage of life, and I can help you wherever you're going to move. Are you going to stay in town, or are you going to move out of town? By the way,
moving out of town. We're fleeing to Texas.
Fleeing to Texas, yeah. I hear a lot of people doing that. And the other thing when you work with our team is that we'll help you move anywhere in the lower 48 states for free. That'll be something that we'll take on as a cost. So we're going to help you do that as well. So we're going to pay your friend, your family distant friend, a couple of dollars just for being friends. We'll help you move at a zero cost basis to you. And then all we ask is you give us a couple of referrals if you like our services. I mean, does that sound like a fair deal to you?
Yeah, that actually does.
Okay, let's get together. I see here that your wife is Julie. And will you and Julie be home either later this afternoon, or would maybe Monday around 3:00 be better?
Monday around 3 is better. The kids have a diabetic check-in earlier Monday afternoon, so we'll be back at the house by Monday at 3.
Well, good. We don't want them falling through second floor story buildings anymore. So fantastic. Right. I will see you and Julie and the 3 obese insulin suck control babies. I will see you guys Monday at 3. I appreciate your times. Toodaloos.
All right, good. And scene. Okay.
Scene.
All right. So there's a lot that I liked about it. You're very pleasant. You push, but you do a couple of things. You repeat the negatives, right? Like, oh, so okay, so he doesn't work in that area 10. Like the things that you repeat are interesting. The things that you choose to repeat back to me are interesting to me. So I caught that. And I mean, bottom line is that there's a lot that you can potentially say that's just spinning words. But when you said to me, oh, you can literally pay a referral fee to that person, like that is a concrete difference. That's something most agents wouldn't do. And Greg, you've said that for years. I don't know how many agents are clued into that, even that method of handling that objection. And I get it. It's a couple bucks out of your pocket. I get it. But this is a deal that you're going to lose 90% of the time otherwise. But if you can slip that in there, and then that gave you a chance to like ask the next question about where I was going and talk about your other big advantage, which is the helping somebody move for free. So I thought that was great. But the key to that was you said something that if I was in that seller's shoes and I was, let's say this was my like wife's brother-in-law, and the fact that you offered to give him a referral fee, so like they put money in his pocket, but you and I still get to work together, and we might actually be able to move for free. Like those two or three things, even if I was in that position for real, like that's how I would have actually responded. That was not just me role playing to give you an appointment. That is how I would have responded. It was really good.
I appreciate it, man. And the whole thing of that is that it comes from Chris Voss's book, Never Split the Difference. Always repeat the last 1 to 3 words that someone says, because that makes them feel heard. And then it gives them the ability to really kind of start a dialogue and a relationship with you. And never at any time did you ever hear me get excited about the potential of the listing. I always stayed very monotone and matter of fact. And I also said at least 2 to 3 times in the conversation, I might not be the right agent and you might not be the right client for me. So I'm pushing you away while bringing you towards me at the exact same time. And a lot of agents get so, stuck on like the verbiage. I got to stick to my script. Well, yeah, you got to stick to a script. We have to understand how to have that conversation. I mean, if you're at the bar and you meet a hot chick or a hot dude, whatever your flavor is, and you're just like, what's up, hot stuff? Stick your tongue down their throat trying to get the listing appointment. Shit ain't going to go fucking too good for you, right? But might want to get their name, where they're from, what they're studying, how's life, what you're drinking, all that kind of a thing. So you're building that relationship with them. And so that's what I did with that. And it disarms people when you say, well, if they're not working in this market heavily, I'd be happy to pay them a referral fee. And that would make Thanksgiving not awkward next time you see them. Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so it's just subtleties about that you're going to learn over time.
Yeah. I like this comment, so I want to read it out. This is from Tony Barberina. It says, what is the agent going to do differently this time that they didn't do or should have done last time? Are you okay with that, or do you have concerns about giving them a second chance? I like that too. And that's a classic, I think, Greg, that's probably been around for a while, that what is the agent going to do differently this time? But it is a really good curiosity question. Go, oh, that's great. You've already got someone lined up. That's awesome. What are you guys going to do, differently this time? What's the plan? And I think most people would give some sort of answer to that. They may not give a good answer. What you're hoping for is that they go, I actually don't know what we're going to do differently this time. And that gives you the entrance to go, okay, well, if you want a second opinion on, maybe what buyers are thinking about your house right now, unfortunately, people sometimes are too nice. There's a bunch of different ways you can handle it based on what you think is going on. But yeah, I mean, the best we found through a lot of like direct mail experimentation my friend has done back at my other agency, like they know what message gets expired listings to, like pay attention, which is, I know why your home didn't sell. Like that is the ultimate message you can give to an expired, is that I have the answer. You don't know what it is. You don't know why your home didn't sell. I know why it sold. And if you'd like to know what that is, then we can have a further conversation.
Yeah, our good friend Aaron Winstein, the LGSO founder, for expireds, he always, how in the heck did that home not sell?
Yeah, right? That's a great line.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal line. And because it opens up a line of dialogue, they can't just say yes or no, right? Mm-hmm. They have to give an intelligent answer. Then you can go deeper on those questions. And it's all about digging deep. Howard Britton, Star Power founder, who's passed away probably 10, 15 years ago now, he would always say go 3 deep. And if you guys have been following the show for a long time, you always know that I always keep talking about this. What 3 deep is ask a question and ask 3 additional questions after the initial answer. So, hey, Matt, are you and Julie thinking about selling your home? Yes, we are. Great. Help me understand what that might look like for you. Then question by the third question, you're generally at the real reason of why they're going to be selling their home, not the surface level answer of like, oh, we just need a new, bigger house. Well, it could be because they've been fighting with their neighbor because their neighbor has a group of, chickens that squawk all night long and a rooster that wakes up at 5 a.m. They want to shoot the motherfucker. Mm-hmm. You're right. You don't know what's going on, or, fill in the blank of whatever it is.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
It is. I mean, Matt gets up at 6 a.m. every Saturday and he gets his bag of rocks and he's out there ready to go. He's waiting for his first text message of who he can go wash their car with rocks. He's so excited, guys. I mean, this guy just lives for this shit. He's like a kid on a cup.
Where did the washing your car with rocks? Where did that even come from? That's been, I don't know. Well, because at first it was just like for a long time, you'd put your phone number up there so that you could book me for like car wash appointments. When did it turn into I'm washing people's cars with rocks? Because that sounds like something that would be a bad thing.
It's right there, Matt, right on the bottom of the screen. That's why we have 245 very, very happy customers.
245 customers. All right, let's get to the main question of the hour. What's the most creative thing? This comes from Lindsay Soprani. She's in the LGSO group, and she's a past guest of the show. We love Lindsay. She's fantastic. She said, what's the most creative thing you've done to win a listing where you're going up against multiple agents, right? So I want to go, so you and I threw out a whole bunch of ideas kind of behind the scenes, but I do want to go through them a little bit slower and dig into each one a little bit. So what's the very first thing that you think of if you're going into a listing appointment? Let's talk about the scenario where you didn't know going in that you were competing against other agents, right? This is like the surprise one where you get there and all of a sudden you realize, oh, I'm just the second of 5 or the second of 3 that you're interviewing, where you thought you were the only one going in. And so you didn't have any time to like do anything differently before you show up to the appointment, right? Because we'll talk about some of those things later. But let's say you show up, you thought you were the only one. You thought this was a pretty good just one-on-one appointment where you're deciding if you're a good fit. And all of a sudden you realize once you're there, oh crap, I'm up against somebody else or 2 or 3 other people. How do you change anything in the moment? And if so, what do you change?
Good question. Something I would do immediately. I would immediately pull back. A lot of people would go, tilt the throttle all the way down and go.
You start leaning forward. Yeah, you start pressing.
Getting really aggressive. Like, well, I'm the best. We're number 1. We're really cool. We're incredible. We got this. We do that. And every time I've seen my father do this, and I've done this myself, is once I hear that we're in competition, I immediately slow down. And I say, oh, interesting. Okay. So why did you call us if you're going to be interviewing other agents? So I put it back onto them. I go into a state of curiosity because literally at that moment, I'm not going to fucking fight you for this listing. If you're going to list with me, you're going to list with me. If you're not, you're not. But I'm not going to give you my information so you can shop me against other people, because if you're going to shop me, you probably already picked your other agent already. You're just going to use my knowledge to give to them so that they can sell their home, and that's going to be my time and energy. So I pull it back, and it's really important. So if we're talking like this and we're having a great time, it's really fun, and they say, well, we're talking to 5 other agents. Interesting. I don't remember us having that conversation on the phone. Did something shift since the last time we spoke? No. Okay. So why did you actually ask me here today? Are you just looking for additional pricing points? Are you looking for marketing tips? Or how did you even come across our name? So I really push back on them quite a bit. So I get them talking. And silence is the biggest negotiator on earth. So if you ask someone a question, so Matt, if I say, Matt, why did you and Julie actually invite me over today?
And then there's going to be an awkward pause. And here's where most agents will interject. Just string it out a little bit longer. It's like, well, we're really looking for a second opinion.
Okay, second opinion.
On like what the price, whether we're really looking for an agent that believes in our house, that believes that we can get what we need to get out of it in order for us to make the next step. And I'm afraid of getting with an agent that is just going to knock us down on price, and every time it doesn't sell, they're coming back to us trying to get us to cut the price. We're not going to let this go for less than what it's worth.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. We would never let it go for less than anything that it's worth on the open market. You said that you wanted a second opinion. What was your first opinion that you got, and what did you not like about it?
It was 745. We feel like we can sell for 799.
799. Are there some comps in the area that maybe the other agent was not aware of?
I don't know what their deal was. They came in with the whole, price it a little bit low, but then we'll make it up with the bidding and all that stuff. And I get it. I just don't trust that they're going to be genuine with that. I think they'll push us to take an offer that's low, even though they promise us in advance that they're not going to do that. I just don't. We haven't had a ton of experience, but I've heard of some friends that have had some negative experiences like that.
With that same agent or with that marketing strategy?
No, just with that. Yeah, with other agents, not that same agent, just with other, that whole approach.
Sure. How did you actually entertain the interview with that first agent?
I think friend of a friend at work or something like that. It was the kind of a circuitous, but yeah, we were referred to them.
Okay, not a problem. So what I'm hearing you saying is you don't want to be pushed on price. You think your home is worth about $799. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't think that you want to take anything less than that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. If we could get equal or more than that, would that be something that we should talk about or not?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd love to hear if you feel like you can get that price or more than that.
Okay, that's where our team comes in. But let me ask you another question, just to kind of so I can understand where I'm laying, where the kind of the parameters of this conversation is going to go. Are you going to be interviewing more agents than just the two of us?
We've thought about it. Yeah. My wife kind of likes to do some of the research, so I don't really know where she's at with that, but I think she was, just kind of doing some online research, looking at people who had good reviews and debating on calling another couple. It kind of depend on how the appointment went today.
Nice. So when it depends on how the appointment goes today, what were your expectations out of this conversation? Were you looking for numbers? Are you looking for marketing ideas? What were you looking for?
More on the numbers. I mean, if you've got marketing ideas to help us hit that number, great. But yeah, we want an agent that believes in the home, that we can get that amount that we need.
Not a problem. Okay, so you guys believe there's a certain number, and I'm with you. I mean, I'm on Team Johnson. I'm here to support you guys, and let's do this. Look, as my father has always said, he's been doing the business for 52 years. Look, you can't sell a loaf of bread if it's in the back storeroom, AKA I can't tell you what the value is without me seeing what the home looks like and all the upgrades you've done. So does today or Monday at around 3 look better for you and Julie for me to come on over? We'll have a 10-minute conversation.
We're already in. You're already at the house. We're in the listing appointment now, but yes.
Oh, motherfucker. Okay, so
little bit off track there, but yeah.
Okay, so
but it was good. The scripting was great.
So I appreciate us walking through what I can do, and the reason why I didn't bring a listing agreement over is because I never do that, because I never want to push you guys into anything you don't want to do. I will be working for you once you and I start working together after you guys sign the listing agreement, and I want to make sure we do everything on your timelines. So let me do this. Let me go home. Let me crunch some real numbers, give you a realistic number. Now, if it's somewhere in the ballpark, let's at least have a secondary follow-up conversation and see what would be the best for you and Julie in regards to the best agent. And I might not be the right agent for you, and you might not be the right client for me. We might just have different methodologies, and that's totally cool. I wish you all the best in life. But if I am the right agent for you, then we're going to put our battle armor on, and my team and I are going to go to battle for you, and we're going to go out there and get you the highest and best price with the best terms. I mean, does that pose an issue for you if we were able to do that for you?
No, I'd love to see what you come up with. Like I said, I don't know what comps the other agent used. I have no idea where they're coming at with the 745 price. Maybe it's just their opinion, but we were surprised. I mean, that's a big hit. 50 grand is a big hit. We're moving to, to Boise, where my wife's family is from. That 50 grand buys a lot of extra house, or it's a big chunk to throw into the college fund for. I mean, that's an entire, couple of years of college fund for a kid, 10 years from now. So yeah, that caught us off guard, and kind of caused us to reach out. So if you think you can get that, or maybe a little bit more, I'd love to hear what you think.
Yeah, 50 grand is a lot. I mean, it's like diabetes treatments for 3 kids for like a month. It's a lot of money to put in
all
there.
Right, and scene. Okay. All right. So I like this. Let's dig into just the attitude real quick, and then we'll talk about some practical things that you can do. So you show up, you don't think you're in competition, but all of a sudden you realize you are. Immediately, like if you're leaning forward, excited, lean back, slow down the pacing, and all of a sudden you start going if and maybe, and if we're a good fit, and I might not be the right agent for you, and let me check on this. Now, is that true? Like the thing you mentioned in the scripting, where you actually don't bring a listing agreement with you to the appointment?
Yeah, no, I do not.
Okay.
Because we do everything digital. So what I'll do is I'll say, you know what, I'm going to come over and I'm going to take a look at the property. I'm not bringing any paperwork. The reason why I'm not bringing any paperwork is because you might not be the right client for me and I might not be the right agent for you. Fair enough? Yes, fair, cool. All stress, all pressure off, right? Because everyone's like, well, I'm not going to sign anything. I'm like, good.
I'd bring anything for you to sign. I love it. I love it.
I mean, you can give me an autograph.
And also just, because it's such the traditional real estate way is to like pressure, like it seems like the traditional way is pressure, get it signed, get the F out of the door before they change their mind. And I've always hated that approach. I was like that approach where they should have you leave that listing appointment and be glad that they signed the documents. You shouldn't be getting them to sign it and then having to literally rush out of the house before they change their mind. So I love it. The fact that you can't, like, if you can't get them to sign something digitally you sent over, like within a couple of hours or a day of meeting you and agreeing to work together, then you didn't have a great relationship to begin with, and the whole thing was going to blow up in your face. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and it was under duress, listing agreement. Yeah. So I mean, they could come back at you and sue you, saying it's under duress. You pushed them, you prodded them, you promised them certain things you never did.
Ben Franklin closed me.
I don't know what that means. That sounds super weird.
Wait, what? You don't know what the Ben Franklin close? It's the isn't the pros and cons list? Like, let's just sit down. Let's make a pros and cons list. You know what Ben Franklin did? Like, it's classic, like Zig Ziglar sales stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's go over. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Sarah, why don't we take a notepad out like this here? I'll give you a sheet, draw a line down the middle, pros and cons, and let's see which side fills up faster. I'll give you 5 minutes.
That's right. It's classic stuff. That's how you sell the Kirby vacuum cleaner. All right. So let's talk about things you can do in advance. And I'll throw one out because I love the idea of a pre-listing packet. I love Dan Kennedy's shock and awe package. I was just reading through one of his books the other day, and he kind of broke down what would go into a shock and awe package. So I'll point out a few things real quick because I love this idea, which is when somebody agrees to an appointment or they request an appointment with you, Dan Kennedy's recommendation is when you show up on their doorstep, they have already received a box from you containing a DVD of a speaking presentation or a seminar that you've done, a sheet of all your testimonials, a guide to buying or sell, whatever it is that you sell, a guide to buying a home, guide to selling your home for the most amount of money, the least amount of time. Glenn Twiddle has used that as an example with his clients. He's got that book that he helps them customize for themselves.
I have one. I have one of those.
You have one? Yep. So that book would go out in that shock and awe package. So it's a book that you've written about how to get the most money for your home. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can throw into that kind of shock and awe package. But just as a quick example, when I was brand new back in the business in 2006, I was a fresh-faced 25-year-old or whatever at that point. I would have my business partner, who was just as young, by the way. We would trade off. So if one had a listing appointment, the other would drop off the listing packet the day before, and it wasn't that fancy. It was just a packet of paper in a customized like envelope. But that made a huge impression. It had our marketing plan in there, some questions of things to think about, some other things if I remember right. But I remember showing up and them, like, they had already flipped through it and they had specific questions about our marketing plan based on that thing that was delivered before so it completely positioned me differently. I got listings I had no business getting as a 25-year-old brand new person in the business that knew nothing. I was getting listings I had no business getting, but it was in large part due to that pre-listing packet. So I think if I was going in, whether I was going in against other agents or not, that's the first thing I would do is make sure I had a pre-listing package or what Dan Kennedy has calls a shock and awe package delivered before I ever show up.
Yeah, and it's as simple as doing a lot of that paperwork and then including from a local bakery a couple of chocolate chip cookies that are super piping hot, gooey, ooey, gooey goodness, dropping them off courtesy of, the McDaniel Johnson team. And, hope you guys enjoy these. We'll see you Tuesday at 3. So on and so forth. Another thing that we do is we have done in the past is that we have a 4-page buyer application, understanding why and where they want to move. So we include that in there so that we can understand the full circle of their
the big picture.
Exactly. So why are you moving? Where are you moving? What are the most important things? So on and so forth. So then as soon as I get there, they fill that out. So now I understand kind of what they're looking for. You treat it as a business. Most agents, and I've been guilty of this in the past, you show up there all willy-nilly and all big ears and big paws and tails, and you're just like, woo, listing appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. What do you want to know?
All enthusiasm, no substance.
No, you're a mile wide, but an inch deep. But if you're an inch wide and a mile deep and you show professionalism and you're like, and you analyze it and you're like, okay, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is bad, this is realistic, this is not realistic, and you open up a real conversation and dialogue with them, you're going to go a lot deeper. I got stuck on this, like the surgery show lately. And these doctors have to give these calls to these patients' families, and they have these hard conversations like, yeah, there's a really good chance he or she's not going to make it. And you can hear the other side kind of like, thank you for the honesty, but fuck, that sucks. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of us are in real estate. We're so afraid of offending the other person on the other side of the table. Like, if I say something wrong, they're not going to list with me. But what if you were able to say something completely truthful and they understand that it's true, that it's truth that you're speaking? Would you rather have some snake oil salesman, or would you rather have someone who is really telling you what's really going to go down?
Right.
That's the distinct. That is how you stand out from the other competition. I learned this on a consistent basis with my girlfriend. My girlfriend she's a bullshit meter on two legs. It's unbelievable. Like, I'll say something, she's like, "You're full of shit." I'm like, "Fuck."
Yes, that's so a doctor thing. It's not just a bullshit meter. Doctors are trained to assume the patients lie. That is a thing. That is a real thing. I have clients in that field.
I cannot get away from it. So I've learned that I have to be brutally honest. Like, it's like, what do you think of these pants? And I'm sitting in my head, what the fuck do I say? And I say, I don't think you look good in them. She'd be like, really? I'm like, no, they're not good. She's like, okay, I'll go change. And if I said,
if I date someone and they can't handle an honest response to that question, I don't date them, period.
Well, Adam Levine, of course you don't.
No, it says something about you. If you can't handle the truth to that question, even though I would put it very nicely, I would say those are not my favorite. They don't flatter you. If you can't handle that, that is a very bad sign. Okay. Let's thanks for the Adam Levine reference. I want to answer something. So Jake Wolf says, love the shock and awe strategy. Blessed Friday to you all. A blessed Friday to you, Jake. Thanks for hanging out with us in the comments section. I know if you guys want to check out the episodes where Jake is on, they are the kind of the marketing roundtable episodes of the show. So they're usually like every other episode. And then if you want to catch that live, you can follow Greg McDaniel's Facebook page, Facebook account to get those live on Wednesdays. But Tony Barbarino has a follow-up question, which is the book by who? So when I'm talking about sending a book in that pre-listing package or a shock and awe package, who's the book by? Well, ideally, the book is by you. That's the point, right? So Mike LaFito, who's been on the show before, has a book about how to get luxury listings sold. So when he sends that in advance to a client and he's following that Dan Kennedy system, that book that they're opening up is his book. Now, that's the ideal. What Glenn did with his coaching clients is he took a book that Glenn wrote, and then it's customized with content for their area, their branding, their name, their strategy or whatever, to be customized so that it looks as if it was 100% written by them, but it was maybe 20% written by them and 80% was pre-written. So there's a couple ways to slice it. Who else have we had? Ray, who is from Australia and now lives in Toronto. Why does his last name escape me? But Ray's been on the show before. Ray had a book that was very similar, and that's what he did in Tony Barbarino says Glenn who? Glenn Twiddle. Glenn Twiddle's been on the show multiple times before.
Ray Wood.
Ray Wood. Ray Wood is the other one. They both had that. Ray Wood had a book. He's given out thousands upon thousands of copies of that book, and then other people have customized it for themselves, and they've given out thousands and thousands of copies of his book. So it's worked in a bunch of different spaces, but it's a great thing. It's a great thing to do. So Glenn Twiddle is the original reason why I brought that up. Now, so you're going to send a pre-listing package of some kind. You're going to send a gift, so a couple of piping hot cookies or Eileen's cookies or C's candies or something like that, like in advance. How about follow-up? How about after the appointment?
Are we doing one appointment or two appointments for the listing?
Ooh, good question. I don't know. Is it a two-step?
I always do a two-stepper. And the reason
Do-si-do.
why is that a one-step, you can never really understand what you're going to be talking about in value because you've never seen the inside. You don't know what the value adds. If they haven't updated anything, if they have updated everything, if they did update it, was it good quality, bad quality? Then you have a real conversation with them on that. Then you go back and look at your comparables, hit the different sites where you can get the information about, all kinds of stuff. And then
meeting them for a second time in person.
Meet him for a second time in person at the property, and then I
So
ask him
one's quick is like how quick is the first one when you do a two
Um,
stage?
I tell them it's a 10 to 15 minute max because it's
Okay.
just me walking through the house. Now, if I can get them talking and make them comfortable, it'll go longer.
Mhm.
If they're just like, yeah, high D, just don't give me anything. I just want numbers and stats and what you're going to do, bullet point for me, and I'm out the door. But if they're an S or a C or an I, or they really want to talk and engage and analyze and everything else, and that's coming from the DISC personality guys, the DISC personality test. So you can go to DISC. Was it? Is it
Well,
Tony
the
Robbins?
easiest place is tonyrobbins.com/disc, if I remember right.
Yeah. Go there and kind of analyze kind of what their personality is like, and then come back with real numbers. And when I come back, I always bring a small gift, like we talked about earlier.
Got it. So you're saying that's the second stage of your listing appointment. That's when you bring that gift. Okay.
Second stage. So we lost a listing appointment, and it wasn't because of what I did. Is my business partner lowballed them, and I totally thought he was wrong on his numbers, and he was. But it was about a $4 million listing. I always said we were listed for 4.2 and just hit the market. He said 3.5. We obviously didn't get the listing, but what I did is that I went. They were moving from Danville, California, to the Central Coast into this little town. So I went on to Amazon. I Googled the city name, and I got the history of that city, and it was a $23 little book about the history of the city. I presented them that book at the second sit-down listing appointment. Those two individuals would not shut up about how much they loved the book. They loved the book. And these guys are multimillionaires. And they didn't care about anything else except for this silly little book for $23 that told them about the history of the city they're moving to. So, I mean, yes, we screwed up on pricing, but I did bring something to them that was very valuable to their personal lives. It wasn't me going like, oh my God, look how cool I am. These are all my stats, right?
Or more like giving them something monogrammed with your name on it.
Well, I send that to you every week, and you still keep them on your shelf. So, I mean.
Sure I do, Greg. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what else? What are some miscellaneous ideas as far as closing the listing when you know you're competing against other agents?
What I do is I have my different team members individually call, not all as one, as a group call. So I'll have Eileen, my team manager, call and say, hey, my name is Eileen Landon. I'm team manager for the McDaniel Callahan team. We truly look forward to working with you. We thank you for your business. I'll be your main point of conversation and communication. If you need anything, here's my direct line. Feel free to email me or call me. Then I'll have the lenders call and say, hey, look, if you're looking to buy your next property, we'd love to assist you. Here's how we can help other folks. I'll have my other business partners call and introduce themselves and say, hi, my name is Terry. My name is Chris. We're on the McDaniel Callahan team. Greg said that we're going to hopefully be working with you. We just want to extend our hello to you, and we look forward to meeting you. And if we can get my home inspector, get my videographer to call and say, hey, look, I'm the videographer. I'll be coming out and taking photos with you for the McDaniel Callahan team, so on and so forth. So it shows a sign of strength, but it's not invasive. It's just saying, hi, hello, we're going to be working together. Greg said wonderful things about you. Your home sounds absolutely amazing. When can we meet? Yada, yada. So it's the presumptive close. Nobody else really does that. That will make you stand out hands over feet over somebody else, because nobody else is going to have their team call. It's just like, it's the me game. Like, look at me, not look at everybody around me. I'm surrounded by excellence. I just happen to be a part of it. That's the big distinguishing difference.
Interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Let's see.
What you got, amigos?
I've got a really good technical question that I want to get to in a second. A couple of them maybe. Before we get to that, let's talk about
you and me, baby.
No, let's talk about why someone should get on the phone with you, Craig. So you referenced the thing about helping them move for free. So that's something that we're working on behind the scenes. Greg, you've been working on that for quite a while to kind of build that out and make that available to other folks that join EXP through us. So if they want to learn more about that and all the details and particulars, how do they get in touch with you?
So guys, you can get a hold of me at area code 925-915-1978. That's my personal cell phone. It does ring. It's right here. See, it's a real phone. Actually, I actually have dog stickers on it. See? Wow. There's actually a funny story behind that, Matt, and I'll tell you off air. But, you know, the thing is that, guys, we are building some stuff that's really incredible behind the scenes that will help you stand out. I've already started marketing to help you move for free in the lower 48. And dude, I haven't even done anything. It's been word of mouth. I've already gotten 2 referrals, and it's growing. I actually just put one of those referrals into contract yesterday. So, I mean, it's just insane. So give me a ring, 925-915-1978, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a conversation.
That's right. Yeah, I was gonna say we don't do any coaching of agents, but if you join EXP through us, it's pretty much the only way to get us, and we are available. So if you want to grow, if you want to grow your career, if you want to get into EXP and recruit, if you want to do something like that, you want to build your own team, we're here to help and support you. So just get on the phone with Greg, learn how to join up, and we'll take it from there. As far as for me, go to getmicrofamous.com. You can get the book there. Learn more about what I'm up to with producing podcasts for coaches, consultants, that sort of thing. And then let's finish up with this. So this is from Jason Kaufman. Says, I have a question because I did a Zoom training for my brokerage calling leads through Mojo with my phone with the speaker active. I thought the participants could hear both sides of the call, but it wasn't all that great. Any recommendations on how to improve the sound quality to hear the conversation better? I ask you this, Greg, because you've done calls, beers and calls for a long time. You probably had that initial technical issue, right? But you don't have that anymore. People can hear both sides of the conversation. So how do you do that with a dialer like Mojo? Okay,
very, very simple. What you want to do is you're going to need some sort of exterior mic. So right now, if you guys are listening to me, not looking at me, I'm shooting this video with it's called the ATR 2500 microphone. It's a table mic, like this. It sits right on your table. Not the preferred method. I mean, I would go with the ATR 2100X. That's the new version. Matt shoots with the ATR 2100. The ATR 2100X is the new one. They're USB, micro USB fed. So literally it's plug and play. You put it into the computer, put it in the bottom of the mic, and you're off and running. You're going to get great audio. You're going to put your phone on speaker, and then you're going to put it next to, not on top of, but next to the speaker of the mic. That's going to feed into whatever social media platform that you're going to be going live on. So Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse, whatever it's going to be. And so then your audio quality is going to pick up dramatically. Make sure that your volume on your phone is going to be tuned all the way up, and then just go from there. But that's a very simple fix. These mics cost less than $70. And I mean, Matt, I think you and I have had our mics for 6 years? I mean, or something like that.
I've had mine for quite a while. Yeah, I'm on the verge of maybe ordering another one. I think you've gone through a couple ATR 2100s over the years, but yeah, they do last for as much as we use them. I mean, I take almost every call that I do on Zoom here from like my home office is on this microphone, so I don't just use it to record. I use it for just basically every Zoom call I ever do, and I've been using mine for years. It cost me all of $80 on Amazon. They're ridiculously cheap, so it's definitely the one that I would recommend.
Yeah, I would definitely go with that. Go again, guys. The ATR 2100 is not in production anymore. ATR 2100X. Yeah, that's the mic you're going to go for. That's the new baby version of this thing. Grab that. Grab a shock mount that you can mount on a desk or something like that, so you don't hear the knocking around, which really is annoying. Which I know Matt's audio engineers are going to drive me nuts because I just did that in this show. And Matt's giving me the look
but leave it in. But leave it in to make the point. Yes.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, the point is that like get a shock mount, and if you have any questions, contact me. Matt will not pick up your phone call, but call me 925-915-1978, and I'd be happy to walk you through any Amazon links I can give to you. Consider them yours. So that's right. Well, let's do one more question. I know you have a hard out here because you're going to go play handball, which I know you love, in Speedos on the beach.
Is that what I'm doing? No, I have a. That's funny. I have an interview with a potential candidate that I'm hiring. Okay.
For Speedo handball?
No, not for Speedo handball. No, that's more of a personal endeavor. Okay. So how do you handle this? And this is from Sean Lobeck in the LGSO group. Says, how do you handle the objection that real estate agents are overpaid? I don't know what to say to that.
It's very simple. Okay, so what you want to do a quick role play?
Sure. And then I'll tell them how I would handle it. So yes, let's do a role play.
Okay.
Greg, I just really feel like you should come down on your commission because real estate agents, I feel like they're overpaid.
Okay, not a problem. So you think we're overpaid? What about our profession? Do you think we're overpaid for?
What part of the profession?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much you actually do to market the home. I get the value on the negotiation side. If you're a good negotiator, I get it. But I think in this market, most agents put the home up on the MLS and, there's so many buyers out there. It's not like they have to try hard to market the home anymore. So what am I paying for?
Sure. So I'm assuming you have a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want a second one?
Not really. Why?
Okay. The reason why I ask, and I'm not trying to be condescending when I say that, is the fact that I do this for a living, like what you do for a living, and I'm paid well for it because I'm a professional at it. And so if you were going to hire someone who's going to do it part-time, half-time, and not full-time, or let you do it 100% of the time, there's going to be a time versus, cause versus effect in regards to cash versus time. So when it comes to what I'm paid, my team is only paid 2.5%. You and I can come back and we can negotiate what we want to pay the other side. We can pay them 1%, 0%, 2.5%, somewhere in there. But that's going to dictate in regards to the quality of the buyers that are going to come through. So when you hire me, the reason why you pay me my 5%, which I give 50% away to the other side of the transaction, is because we come together and we collaborate and we're able to buffer you from any of the negative comments that may be said about your property. Not that they will be said, but they may be said. And we're going to be able to take away a lot of that stress. I'm going to be that buffer zone for you so that when those conversations, those hard topics come up, I'm going to be there for you. Also to the fact that when you think that we're on our 100-foot yacht eating caviar, drinking champagne for lunch, dating models all week long, we're literally eating bag lunches, sitting at our desks, sweating, freaking out, trying to hold our nerves together, trying to make everything smooth for you so that at the end of the day, you don't see the stress. So we're like a battleship. We take a lot of punches, okay? And at the end of the day, we deliver success to you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, I still think you're overpaid, but I accept your answer.
I understand. I feel that too. And I think you might be overpaid at your profession as well. But that's all perception.
How dare you? I'm an engineer at Google. I am chronically underpaid for how much they make.
So that means you get free childcare, free food, free transportation, phenomenal benefits and stocks.
That's right.
And I'm overpaid? Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here.
All right. Let me briefly explain how I would answer that question, which I think the pre-listing package takes care of a lot of that. I like the idea of honestly, I never had that objection come up. I never had it come up. Yeah, it was, and maybe just because I'm into the marketing part, so we would talk about what we're going to do to market the property and just how it wasn't just about setting the right price and then just sitting and waiting for people to come. I think who we had, Dave Parnell. I know I'm going to screw up the last name. I'm screwing up names lately.
It's Parnell.
Dave Parnell. When he does an open house and they see his open house plan, nobody is asking him, why do you charge 6% listing commission, right? So I think there's things that agents can do that don't have anything to do with handling the objection. It's setting it up and positioning yourself as a different kind of agent that actually does do things, and you have a plan, and that plan has many, many, many steps that you, Mr. Homeowner, will never see or have to worry about. Yes, my job is to be a buffer between you and all the crap that goes on, but more importantly, my job is to market the home in such a way that gets the highest price, and there's a lot of steps to that. I've got agents calling people, I've got people passing out flyers, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, that, and the other. We've got a lot of work to get started on. When you talk in those terms and we have a plan and this is the plan, you're not going to see all this stuff happening behind the scenes, but there's a whole lot that's happening under the water. We're like a duck where we look calm on the outside, but underside we're just paddling for our lives. Now, I wouldn't put it in terms of like pulling our hair out trying to keep deals together. I would focus more on the marketing and the negotiation side. Like that's what we're doing. That's the paddling that's going on beneath the surface, is all the marketing and negotiation activities we're doing for you, getting feedback, talking to agents, following up on buyers, what's going on, preventing issues from coming up, keeping in contact with all these people to prevent issues from coming up. That's all stuff that you will never ever have to worry about, because that's my job, because I'm a professional. We have a whole team to do this. Like once you start talking like that and they get that sense, I think it destroys that objection before it ever comes up.
I agree with you 100%. And I always make a little bit of light out of it as well. I mean, you and I, we're not getting smaller in the tooth. We're not getting younger, right?
Shorter in the tooth. First of all, nobody under the age of 40 even knows what that expression is that you're referring to.
I know. That's the whole point.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, if you guys can't see us, both Matt and I got a little bit of gray in the beard, right? Matt's got actually substantially more lately. I don't know what's going on with that. Mm-hmm. But everyone looks at me, they're like, God, you got a lot of gray in your chin right there. Don't you want to like color that out and make it look back to gray and brown again? I'm like, no, this has been dipped in the pond of knowledge. And so I make a joke out of that, right? And people, exactly your response. They laugh about it and they're like, okay, you've been through the fight a few times. But I mean, like Matt said, you show up and you just bring value hardcore, never stop. You outline exactly what you're going to do. And this is the shock and awe real side of it. Like you just lay down every single bullet point that you're going to do. And it could be redundant, but you know what? If people see that you're actually working and that you're not just sitting on your keister, not doing anything, they're going to really resonate with that. Everybody wants a hard worker, someone who's going to be there for them on their side, so that they know that they have a warrior in their corner, not just a pussycat, just going, meow, meow, just looking for the next glass of milk, aka a payday. Matt shaking his head. I can't believe I didn't get a nose pinch.
Such a weird, disgusting metaphorical way to explain this.
I know, but I can't believe I didn't get it.
It's the sound effects. It's the sound effects of the licking that I don't need. I don't need that. I get it. Yeah, you don't need a little pussycat. You need a tiger. I get it. Oh my God. All right, should we pick a color for the bow around this episode?
No, we got to talk with Sean. He says he loves this topic. Thank you, Sean.
Right,
appreciate it.
What's up, Sean?
All right, so Matt, what's the color for the bow on the show?
Let's go with a charcoal, which is exactly the color of the rocks that apparently I wash people's cars with on the weekends.
By the way, guys, if you guys want his phone number, let me put this on the bottom as a rolling scroller for you. Damn it. I lost it. Can't find it.
That's a shame. Oh, that's terrible. All right. We have talked about how to reach.
All right, here's Matt Johnson's number right there, guys. Feel free and reach out to me at any time. You can get me at 925, 915, 1978. Guys, let's talk a little bit in regards to kind of what we're building. We got some incredibly cool stuff. We're going to go from a small pack to a large pack here. We're going to be using and recruiting for our EXP team, guys. We got some insane stuff. We have a truck. Whoops. We have a trucking side of the company that we're launching with Clever Leads, which is absolutely Insanityville. So feel free, or you can just call for Adam Levine, and he will be happy to come over and wash your car with rocks. All right, I think that is it. We are going to put a charcoal bowl on the show. Matt is shaking his head again at me. Thank you guys very much. Go ahead out there and give us a 5-star, not a 2-star review on everywhere you guys watch and listen to podcasts. Help the algorithm show it up to more people so that they can get the knowledge, the humor, and the fun that we try to bring to every one of you. And until next time, guys, peace out, ninjas. We gone.